Many of my students cracked interviews and got offer letters and new jobs after watching my videos, and I believe you can also do the same. Hello friends, as you know, Node is the top backend technology used in the full stack development. So if you want to be a full stack developer job you want to get, then Node is the right choice for you. Now to get the job and for cracking the interview, today I am going to cover the top 10 Node interview questions for candidates having around 1 to 2 years of experience in Node. You can also treat this video as a mock interview for your practice. Just listen to the question, pause the video, think about your own answer, and then listen to my answer and compare. Okay? Hey, my name is Happy and I help candidates in cracking Node interviews by posting Node career related job interview guidance videos. Okay, if you don't want to miss those latest videos on Node, then do hit and like and subscribe the button. Hit the like and subscribe button. So let's start with the first question. What are the 7 main features of Node? This is a very important question. We already have many technologies for creating the web applications like Java, .NET, etc. Right? Then why Node is the best choice now? That is because of the Node's features only, right? So here are the 7 features. Node, like JavaScript, is a single threaded. The program, second is program in Node executes in a asynchronous way. Then Node applications are event driven. Then Node uses V8 JavaScript engine, which you already know. Then Node is cross-platform and therefore it feature can run on any operating system, right? Then Node has NPM, Node Package Manager, which manage all its dependencies. Finally, Node has real-time capabilities, meaning it is very good for handling bi-directional communication. Bi-directional communication like chat application, gaming application, where user basically interact in real time, right? Great. Now in upcoming question, I will explain all the features one by one, and I will also show the advantages, and I will show how those advantages are basically coming from these features only. Okay, so that we will see in upcoming questions. What is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous programming? I already explained them separately, but here I have also written down the differences. It's point by point, and you can see I have also pointed out the advantages of the asynchronous programming over the synchronous programming. So if you understand synchronous asynchronous programming, then these difference and advantages are very easy to understand. You can either pause the video and read it, or later you can revise the differences from the book. That's the quick answer of this question. Alright friends, before we hit the next question, if you have not yet accepted my never give up challenge, then accept it. Make a promise and commitment to yourself. No matter how tough it gets, no matter how many rejections you will face, but you will never give up until you crack the interview. That is also my own struggle story with interviews. Accept this challenge by writing never give up in the comment section right now. Trust me, the moment you write it, you will feel an instant boost of confidence and motivation towards your goal. What are the main features and advantages of Node? So in interviews, many times we directly started speaking about the advantages of Node without relating them with the features. For a great answer, you should know that from where the advantages are coming. Okay, every advantage in any technology comes from some features of that technology, right? So therefore, if we are able to relate both features and advantage, then it's a great answer, and you will also feel it after listening this answer. Here are the 5 features you already know, right? Now, Node.js has asynchronous operation. It has a Google Chrome V8 JS engine. It has event-driven architecture. It's a cross-platform and it uses the JavaScript language. Okay, so these are the features. Now, here are the advantage we get from these features. First, because of asynchronous, Node.js can enable handling multiple concurrent requests and can do non-blocking execution of threads, right? Then second, because of Node is built, it is built in V8 JavaScript engine from Google Chrome. Therefore, Node.js execute code very fast, very quickly. Okay, JavaScript engine only executes your JavaScript code, right? Next advantage is because Node is event-driven architecture, therefore it is very efficient in handling asynchronous operations and events. Okay, handling events will be very easy. Because threads will respond as per the events generated, if you remember the asynchronous operations, right? Also in the chat applications, gaming applications, why events are important? Because there are too many events generated when bi-directional communication in chat applications. So that will be very easy and then Node will be a great choice. Okay. Next is cross platform. It supports deployment on various operating systems like Windows, Linux, and which basically enhancing the flexibility of your application so that it can be hosted in any operating system. Then next advantage is as we code in the JavaScript language only in Node, so basically there is no need to learn a new programming language. Okay, so that's also an advantage. Same language can be used for the client side and for the server side development also, right? Then last, and because of all of the above feature, Node is suitable for building scalable applications that can handle increased loads. Scalable means, so suppose if tomorrow when your application will grow after 2 year, 3 year, it will become bigger and bigger. And then if it is developed in Node, your application, then it will be very easy to grow it, to scale it and add more features to it. So that is scalability. All right, that's the whole story of the features and the advantages of Node. How many ways are there to export a module? Now, inside a module, we mostly have functions like this, but we can also have variables or objects inside modules. Okay. Now, by default, these functions, variables, objects are available only inside this same JavaScript file and they are not accessible outside this file. Okay, by default. Now, to make them accessible outside in other files, we have to export them. For that, one way is to use modules.exports object like this. Module.exports.function name equal to function name. Now, same for exporting variable and objects also you can do the same. This is one way. Another direct way of exporting is like this. This is direct. Here we are directly using the export object to export the function, function variable or any object, right? Directly exporting. There is no need to write separate export statements in this case, and this is like a shortcut approach which is very famous nowadays, and the same is written above them for later revision from the book. What are the types of modules in Node? We have 3 types of modules in Node.js. First is built-in modules, or we also call them core modules. These are already present modules in the Node.js that provides essential functionalities, common functionalities. For example, file system, HTTP server, path manipulation, utilities. So these are modules are provided by the Node. We have to just import them and use them, and we can call their functions. Okay. Second type of modules are local modules. These are the user defined modules which as a developer we have to develop, like developers have to develop as per their project requirements. Okay, so then we can create these modules, we can export their functions, these modules, so that other files in our project we can also use there also. Okay, last are third party modules. These are like external packages or libraries created by the community outside, basically for providing the additional functionalities for your node projects. Now to use them you have to first install them, okay, because they are not already present in your node. And then you can install by npm install commands, and like this npm install lodash. This lodash is a external package, okay, third party module, and then you can use them in your application. Great, these are the three types of module, and all I have explained is written here for later revision from the book. Hi friends, just a small notification here. This video is part of my full course, Top 200 Node Interview Questions, including the topics like Express, REST API, and Mongo-DB. All questions PDF book link is also present below in the description. So like these candidates who cracked the interviews and got offers via this course, and if you don't want to miss anything for your interviews, then try this course. Otherwise, no problem. Let's continue. Explain the role of the FS module. Name some functions of it. This is one of the most important built-in modules in Node. In short, it is used for managing files. Let's quickly see the code example. First, import the FS module by using the require function like this. Then you can use the read file function of the FS module to read the contents of a file asynchronously. Here the first parameter is the name of the file from which we are reading. The second parameter is the format of the file, and the third parameter is this callback function in which we are passing two parameters, the error and the data. While reading from this fx.txt file, if there is any error we got, then we are just returning black, okay, and if there is no error, then we are reading all the content of this fx.txt file in this variable data and printing content here in the console. So I'm printing, this is my logic, and as per the application requirement the logic can be different, okay. You can do anything with this data which we are getting from the file. Now similar to this, we have another important function of the FS module called the write file function. Here the first parameter is the blank or empty file name. This is blank, where we will write the content, okay. This is write function. Then second parameter is the content source, and the third parameter is some same callback function to handle if there is any errors or any other scenario, okay. So that's it. Finally, the definition of FS module is: FS module in Node provide a set of methods for interacting with the file system. Okay, great. Now here are 7 main functions of FS module. Read and write, you already know. Append file, used to append the new data with the existing data of a file. Then unlink function is used to delete the specified file. Then a redirect function is used to read the content of a directory. Sorry, not redirect, it's read directory, dir. Then mkdir method is used to create a new directory, or you can say folder. Then rmdir method is used to remove a specified folder directory. Great, that is the answer to this question. You do not have to remember the names of all these methods, but the more you know about something, the better you can explain it, right? What is the role of HTTP module in Node? This is one of the most important modules in Node. Let's first quickly understand the request flow before understanding the role of the HTTP module in a Node application. Suppose you are a user and you open a Node API based website in your browser. So the request will first go to the UI server, which can be in Angular, React, JavaScript, any front end technology, right? Now for static data like images, styles, or for existing data operation, like if a user will do sorting, filtering on the existing orders or in e-commerce application, for these kind of operation the UI server only will do it by itself and send the response back. But if the user is requesting for additional data or something important, then UI server will send the HTTP request with the API server URL to your Node application API. Now listen carefully. To be able to receive these requests from the front end, your API must be present or hosted at some URL address with the port number on the internet, right? So that hosting will be done by HTTP module. So the HTTP module will create an HTTP server that will be listening to the HTTP request from the UI, and then the same HTTP module will send back the HTTP response to these UI, and then UI will of course send the response to the user browser. Great. I think now you know the role of the HTTP module, right? In upcoming question we will quickly see the implementation also, but and same thing I have written here. The HTTP module can create an HTTP server that listens to server ports and gives a response back to the client. That is the role of HTTP module in Node. What are the advantages of using Express with Node? Why we use Node, why we use Express with Node? There are reasons behind everything, right? Here I am going to share 4 advantages of Express. First is Express simplify web development. You know the roles of framework in software development, right? They basically simplify the software development process by providing many built-in methods and features. The same is true for Express framework also. Second advantage is middleware support. Yes, middlewares are very important for handling requests and response in a proper way. And with Express framework, managing multiple middlewares and handling millions and millions of requests is very easy. Yes, definitely I will cover this middleware in Express in upcoming question, but for now I am just giving you the overview. Okay. The third advantage is Express provides flexible routing system. So basically when any request come, you must redirect them properly to the methods of your REST API, okay, based on the request URL, right? So therefore, with Express framework, it is simple to understand the URL patterns and redirect them properly with minimum amount of code. That is the benefit. Again, I will cover this routing in Express in upcoming questions, okay, in detail. Then last advantage is template engine integration. So sometimes we create some dynamic HTML at server side rather than client side, and template engine integration help us in creating those dynamic HTML content. And basically here we combine the HTML template with the data from the database or anywhere. So basically Express framework will make this process very easy and simple for you. Great. These are some of the top advantages and features of Express which you must remember. I will also cover their implementation separately in detail in upcoming questions. But alright, I think I also have written very simple description here also, which I already explained. But yes, this can help you in the last minute quick revision just before the interviews, okay? That's it. What is routing in Express? Let's quickly understand with the help of a diagram. We already know we have a front end which can be in Angular, React, Vue, or etc., right? And then we have a REST API, which is in our case is in Express and Node. Now the HTTP request will come from the front end, and inside the REST API, it will first hit the middleware, right? Now, suppose our application is an e-commerce application. And for that, we have controllers like orders, products, payments, etc. Anything related to e-commerce, okay? Then inside the controllers, we have these get orders, post orders, various methods, right? Now the question is how it will be decided which kind of request will go to which controller method. For that, we have a routing like this after the middleware. Now listen carefully. What routing will do, in the case of a URL with orders, the routing will redirect it to the order controller. And if the method in the request is get, then it will execute the get orders method of the orders controller only. So in the case of products or payments in the URL, the request will be redirected to the products or payments controller. And finally, the response will be sent back to the front end. Okay, so that is the role of routing. Here is the simplest and the easy to remember definition. Routing in Express is the process of directing incoming HTTP request to the appropriate handler functions based on the request method and the URL path. So these request method and URL path are the part of the request only. Great. In upcoming questions, we will explore more and more about routing, okay? So get ready for the fantastic journey. What is the difference between middleware and routing in Express? Sometimes we get confused by these two things, but now let's make it very clear. First difference is middleware is a function, whereas routing is a process, okay? Very simple. Second difference is, and you already know, middleware functions can access the request and response object, and then they can like either perform some action like authorization, logging, and then after that either they can end the request response cycle also, or middleware can also call the next middleware function, okay? So that is about middleware. So in short, basically middleware will perform some logic, okay? Whereas routing is the process of directing incoming HTTP request to the appropriate handler, get, post, put, delete, okay? So that means routing only directs the request. Routing does not perform any logic or on request, okay? So that's the difference. All right, congratulations for completing all the questions. If you have reached here, that means you have the courage and patience required for cracking the interviews. Just don't stop here and keep rolling until you get your goal, okay? Only one recommendation from my side. If you have not started yet, then start giving interviews. As I always said, interviews are the best form of learning. Interviews help you not just in learning, but if you are selected, the reward is very, very good. Okay. And if you are not selected, then remember, you will still lose nothing. Not giving interviews is even worse than facing rejections in interviews, because not attending the exam means the opportunity is gone. Companies will hire someone else, they will not wait for you, okay? But if you are rejected in interview, then at least you will learn new things and next time you are more prepared, right? So start giving interviews and do accept my never give up challenge until you crack the interview, okay? Accept the challenge now by writing never give up in the comment section. Finally, all the best from my side, and I will support you in your career journey by posting the interviews, careers, and the job videos continuously. Join my interview cracking community by pressing the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much.